Hello, friends. Welcome back. I appreciate you joining me this Holy Week to contemplate the 7 last words of Christ. Christians throughout the years have believed we could use these last statements by Jesus as a way of understanding what is and was important to the heart of God. Well, in this session, we contemplate the 6th of Jesus' last words, what is traditionally known as a word of triumph, when Jesus says, "It is finished." If we were to read the Bible purely as a book of literature, I think we would find something amazing about the character in it known as Jesus. I don't know about you, but when I always read stories of Jesus, I think, wow, he is acting almost exactly how I would act if I were him. Do you feel that way? I assume you do. Most everyone I share this thought with seems to think Jesus is just like them, just like I think Jesus is just like me. It's what makes Jesus such an amazing character and truly a real person. One of those personality traits I always respond to is Jesus' insistence that he stay focused on what he's with us to do. I think about that time at the wedding at Cana when he told his mom that it was not yet his time, or when he was on his way to Jerusalem and he had healed people in a particular town along the way, and they asked him to stay there with him. And he said, "No, I have to go to Jerusalem." This is a man who knew what he was about. I've always appreciated this aspect of Jesus' character because it has taught me that there are things I need to say yes to, and there are things I need to say no to. Through these stories, I learn that I need to know why I'm doing the things I'm doing. I need to be clear about my purpose, about my mission. Well, Jesus was clear about his mission all along. No matter what was occurring, he preached that the kingdom of God was at hand, and he lived that reality out in so many ways. He healed the sick, he released the captives, he brought good news to the poor. And after all that, now here he was hanging on a cross, taking on the sin of the world. And what he had set out to do had finally all been done. Good Friday is one of 2 days in the Christian calendar that I find particularly meaningful. The other one for me is Jesus' baptism. We talk a lot as Christians about the cross and the tomb and the resurrection, and no doubt we should. Don't hear me saying those things aren't somehow important. But I find it equally important to remember that Jesus didn't just one day find himself up on a cross. Jesus on the cross is the logical conclusion of the ministry he began that day at the Jordan with his cousin John the Baptist. It was on that day that Jesus publicly and unequivocally stated what he was about. It was on that day that he made a public commitment to be the person he had been created to be. If even the Son of God makes a public commitment, what does that say about my need to do so? 40 years ago, beloved pastor and author Eugene Peterson wrote a book called A Long Obedience in the Same Direction. And the book's title made famous a phrase of philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. For Nietzsche, the idea of a long obedience was a way of living that made life worth living. It was about committing oneself to goodness, to beauty, and to truth in the face of opportunities for selfishness, ugliness, and falsehood. It was about living our lives as a protest against all that is hateful and tyrannical. It may not need to be said, but I'll say it anyway. Jesus clearly understood this long obedience. His entire life was about this long obedience. Friends, Jesus said, "It is finished," as a way of saying, I have no regrets. I wonder if our lives were ending today, would we be able to say that we had no regrets with how we treated others and by what we spent our time pursuing? I'll admit to you, I'm embarrassed to say if my life ended today, I would have regrets. But thanks be to God that Lent provides us every year with an opportunity to set things right. This year, we've been given a historic opportunity to take stock of what is and is not important. As the prophet Micah tells us, we already know what it is that the Lord requires of us. We are to do justice and love kindness and mercy and to walk humbly with our God. And so, friends, my prayer for us is that we use this Holy Week to assess our priorities, to take stock of what we're saying yes to and what we're saying no to, so that when we reach our final moments, we are able to say with confidence, "It's finished." Peace be with you.
I will set my feet upon the road. I will follow wherever you lead. I will set my feet upon the road. I will follow wherever you lead. I know not where the road will end. I know not what is up around the bend, but I will set my feet upon the road. I will follow wherever you lead. Was that you I met along the road? Was that you walking with me? Was that you I met along the road? Was that you walking with me? I was fine all on my own, but you showed me things I never could have known. Was that you I met along the road? Was that you walking with me? Well, there are those who sit along the road. As I walk, they call out to me. There are those who sit along the road. As I walk, they call out to me. They are blind and they are lame. Will I pass them? Will I cause them pain? There are those who sit along the road. As I walk, they call out to me. Well, I reach out and take them by the hand. I ask them to walk with me. I reach out and take them by the hand, and I ask them to walk with me. They tell me of the life they've known, all the heartaches, all the ways they've grown. I reach out and take them by the hand, and I ask them to walk with me. Well, it grows late and I am growing tired. They ask me to rest with them. It grows late and I am growing tired. They ask me to rest with them. And as we talk, my strength renews, and I can see their beauty, I can see their truth. It grows late and I am growing tired. They ask me to rest with them. I drift off in the stillness of the night, but something calls me back. I drift off in the stillness of the night, but something calls me back. The many around me have become one, and they are shining brightly like the sun. I drift off in the stillness of the night, but something calls me back. I will set my feet upon the road. I will follow wherever you my feet upon the road, I will follow wherever